Al Jazeera Podcasts.
I'm David Enders, and this is The Take. As Israel's war on Gaza, Lebanon, and Syria continues, we're coming to you on Sundays with a weekly roundup. This week, displaced Palestinians are forced to live on garbage dumps. The U.S. again vetoed a UN resolution to end the war on Gaza. An update on Dr. Hussam Abu Safiya, the hospital director from Gaza detained by Israel last year. Today is Sunday, September 21. It is day 716 of the war in Gaza, where more than 65,208 Palestinians have been killed. Palestinians in Gaza continue to flee Israel's attack on Gaza's city, with virtually nowhere to go. Al Jazeera's Hind Khoudary filed this report about families who have been forced to live on a garbage dump in Deir al-Balah in central Gaza.
With nowhere else to go, this stretch of toxic ground has become their only refuge.
We were displaced like many people from the north because of the destruction and the devastation. We were searching all over for a decent place where we can stay, but that costs money to rent a small piece of land. We can't afford that. We kept looking around, but we didn't find any other place but here. As you can see, it is nothing but garbage, sewage, all kinds of pollution, bacteria and germs. I'm cooking my food in the midst of garbage. Where else can we go? We are trying to clean as much as we can until we figure out a way out of this misery.
This makeshift camp in Deir al-Balah is one of the many scattered across central Gaza. Since the intensified military operations in Gaza City, entire neighborhoods have been flattened, forcing tens of thousands to flee south, many on foot with nothing but what they could carry.
On Thursday in New York, the United States once more used its veto power to block a United Nations Security Council resolution demanding an unconditional ceasefire in Gaza. The U.S. also continues to refuse to issue a visa for Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas that would allow him to be present with other world leaders at the United Nations General Assembly next week. Instead, he will address the meeting by video. This is Al Jazeera's diplomatic editor, James Bays.
Depressingly, we've seen this before. 14-1. 14 members of the Security Council voting for a ceasefire in Gaza, but it's blocked by one, the United States. This, its sixth veto on Gaza in almost 2 years. US Representative Morgan Ortagus claimed that passing this resolution would have helped Hamas. This draft resolution was drawn up by the 10 non-permanent elected members of the Security Council. The ambassador of one of them, Algeria, repeatedly apologized to the people of Gaza.
Forgive us because this council could not save your children. More than 18,000 of them have been killed by Israel.
On Tuesday, U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio visited Qatar, 1 week after Israel struck the Qatari capital of Doha in an attempt to assassinate Hamas leaders there. Al Jazeera's Charles Stratford reported.
Qatar has called the attack by Israel an act of terror and a flagrant violation of its sovereignty and international law. The US requested Qatar host Hamas in 2012 and has praised Doha's mediating efforts in conflicts around the world for years. But the attack has strained Doha's relationship with Washington, its most powerful ally, more than ever before. Rubio came to Qatar straight from Israel, where, standing next to Israel's leader, he apparently endorsed the attack in Doha, but asked Qatar to continue its diplomatic efforts to end the war on Gaza. Qatar plays host to the largest US airbase in the region, one that's supposed, in theory, to offer Qatar security. The US has repeatedly denied accusations it had sufficient time to warn Qatar of Israel's attack. And some suspect it may have turned a blind eye to Israel's attempt to sabotage Qatar's long-standing efforts at mediating an end to the war.
Finally this week, the Al Jazeera investigative program Fault Lines released a documentary about Hussam Abu Safiya, the head of Kamal Adwan Hospital in northern Gaza. Israel detained Abu Safiya last year and continues to hold him in prison. This is Amal Gatafi, the director of the film.
What we know about him is that he's been held for about 250 days. He is not allowed visitors besides his lawyer. Abu Safiya is one of at least 150 documented healthcare workers who are in Israeli detention. There really is no clear reason for why they're being held, because if there was a clear reason, there would be an actual charge. They would be criminally charged. Abu Safiya and many healthcare workers like him do not have criminal charges.
And that's The Take for Sunday, September 21. Please join us again tomorrow. This episode was produced by me, David Enders. Our sound designer is Alex Roldan. Alexandra Locke is The Take's executive producer, and Ney Alvarez is Al Jazeera's head of audio.